We are at the NAFB convention in Kansas City, and our broadcast brought to you in part by Comro Sales and Service, also Growth Energy, BASF, the Ann Thompson Insurance Agency, the Animal Wellness Center of Buffalo Valley, and Annabis Silo. I'm with Collin Woodall. He is Vice President of Government Affairs with the National Cattlemans Beef Association. We're going to talk a little bit about COOL, country of origin labeling. And Collin, thank you for joining us today. Obviously, the World Trade Organization once again has said this country of origin labeling rule is not right. You can't use it. The reaction of the Beef Association.
Well, we're concerned about this because a lot of people wonder whether or not the WTO really has any power, and they do. And their power comes from allowing other countries to retaliate against the United States in situations just like this. So now that they have come out once again and said that COOL violates our trade agreements with Canada and Mexico, which both have historically been two of the top 5 markets for the export of U.S. beef, if they retaliate against us, it's going to have a huge negative economic impact on our industry.
When would that retaliation occur?
Well, more than likely it's going to be at least a year away because there is one more opportunity for the U.S. government to appeal. We expect them to execute that appeal. So it'll probably be this time next year before we get that final decision, and only then we'll be able to talk about the timeline for retaliation from those two countries.
And then with that in mind, is it fair then to say that give the USDA a chance to fix this if it's even fixable?
So the USDA has had a chance to fix it, and it did not work. Matter of fact, we just feel it made it worse. So the way the statute is written, we don't think there's anything that the USDA can actually do to fix country of origin labeling. Congress has to step in now and try to find a way to fix this program. So it's going to be up to them to ultimately keep us from being retaliated against.
Again, we're talking with Collin Woodall with the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. Had a chance to talk with him during the NAFB convention in Kansas City. Now, Collin, supporters of country of origin labeling would say, well, geez, your clothes say made in China. Your shoes say made in wherever. Your car will say parts and that came from wherever. What's the difference?
It's about the execution, the mechanism. We're talking about a mandatory government-run marketing program. That's all that COOL is. It has nothing to do with food safety. It has nothing to do with the quality of the beef. We have other programs put in place to make sure that all the beef sold in the United States is of high quality, that it's safe, and the consumer can feel comfortable in buying that and feeding that to their families. Country of origin labeling does not do that at all. We don't expect the government to do much right these days, much less market our beef, and that's what we have seen because COOL has been in law and implemented now for 6 years. And the consumer is not reacting. So obviously the consumer does not see this as one of the top criteria that they use to buy beef. They look at the price. They look at how pretty our product is. So that's one of the concerns that we have, in that this is actually not providing any benefit to our industry. It's only a cost to our industry. And we think there are other ways that we have through branded programs that are voluntary and industry-led that are a better way to provide information to consumers, those who really want to know.
So do you expect this whole thing to just end up being thrown out?
Ultimately, it can't be thrown out because Congress has to take action. There's going to be something. It's either congressional action to fix COOL or it's going to be retaliation. It can't just be thrown out and nobody think about it again. There has to be some action. And so that's what we're working on to try to determine which one of those is going to happen first, the congressional action or the retaliation. The retaliation is not just against beef and pork and other meats. It's also against wine, fruits, vegetables, other commodities, and other products made here in the United States. So it's going to have an economic impact across the spectrum, not just on agriculture.
Collin, again, we appreciate you joining us.
Thank you.
Collin Woodall, he is with the National Cattlemen's Beef Association from the NAFB convention. I'm Brian.